Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. Last week I got an email from Circonflexes, and long-time viewers of this channel will no doubt be aware that any time I get an email from Circonflexes it usually contains something worth looking at. This one was no exception. He actually sent me two replay files, one of which I featured in the video I did last week, which was a comedy moment when the last tank standing on Circonflexes' team was preparing to ambush an enemy object 140, also the last tank on the enemy team. He was about to win the game by capping, and at the last possible second the AMX popped out, only to realise he was ambushing the wrong cap circle. This is the other replay that Circonflexes sent me. Now there's a fair chance that a good number of you may have already seen this battle because it was played on Circonflexes' Twitch livestream. He's also done his own video on this and uploaded it to his YouTube channel, but, well, as he said in his email, hardly anybody watches his YouTube channel. So I decided I'm going to cover this one today because it is pretty epic. So what's all the fuss about in this particular battle? Well, for some unknown reason, Circonflexes has decided he's going to be driving the AT-15A, British Tier 7 premium tank destroyer, and the first British tank destroyer to be introduced into World of Tanks. It's just not a very good machine. If you compare this thing to other premium Tier 7 tank destroyers like the Su-122-44, the legendary Stalin's Hammer, or the E-25 for example, this thing is very definitely the runt of the litter. It's not a terrible machine. It does have a very good rate of fire on the gun, very good gun traverse, very good gun depression, and very good accuracy. But this 17-pounder gun is a great gun at Tier 6, not so much at Tier 7. The penetration isn't the worst for a Tier 7 tank destroyer, but it's not particularly good, and the alpha damage is also bad. Now you could argue that the quick rate of fire makes up for the low alpha damage per shot, and it's certainly true that a machine like the E-25 certainly doesn't suffer with only doing 150 damage per shot, but the E-25 has speed and mobility, and the AT-15A definitely does not. And you're going to see numerous examples in this video, and here's one. He's going to aim for the tracking shot, and he scores a direct hit on the drive sprocket of that KV-85, but this gun just doesn't have enough punch in one shot to reliably be able to blow the tracks off an enemy tank. And that can be incredibly bad news when you're in something as slow and unmaneuverable as the AT-15A, because it means this machine is incredibly vulnerable to getting outflanked. It's also not a particularly good moneymaker, despite the fact that it's a Tier 7 premium. It certainly doesn't print credits the way the Su-122-44 does. When you come across a tough opponent like the OI here, the standard ammunition is just not going to cut it, even aiming at weak spots. Now you could argue that a machine like the Su-122-44 only has 4mm more penetration, and that's absolutely true. But the ammunition fired by the Su-122-44 does more than double the damage of the ammunition fired by this 17-pounder gun. And while the Su-122-44's premium ammo does cost 4,200 credits per shot, that's not more than twice the ammunition cost of the 17-pounder ammunition on the AT-15A, which costs a whopping 3,200 credits per shot. So it's way more expensive to fire premium ammo in this tank destroyer. Once again, another example of the alpha damage of the 17-pounder gun not being enough to reliably blow the tracks off even a stationary target like that KV-3. Circonflexes judging that he was going to get more assistance damage after blowing the tracks off that tank with all of the friendly tanks swarming over it than if he was to pump shots into the side of the turret, but it just wasn't blowing the tracks off. Repeated shots in at the same location failed to immobilise the KV-3, so in the end he just started farming damage on it along with the rest of the team. So they're winning 6 kills to 1, but this is where things start to go horribly, horribly wrong. The enemy team have just pulled 1 kill back, 2 kills back. They're still winning, but now it's 6 kills to 3, and with a top speed of 20 kilometers per hour, it takes the AT-15A a while to get anywhere. 7 kills to 4. Look at this shot on the move at the Achilles. And this is something that the AT-15A is particularly good at, firing on the move, but it's kind of like the TOG-2 at Tier 6 in that respect. In the TOG-2, as in the AT-15A, the difference between stopped dead in your tracks and moving at full speed is barely noticeable, so it's probably not too surprising that both machines do have a fairly good reputation for reliably being able to hit targets while on the move. Now remember, barely a minute ago this team was winning 6 kills to 1, and now look at the scores. And in the finest traditions of World of Tanks Random Battles teammates, this team is going to do its level best to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Meanwhile, Circonflexes shooting at the Sherman Jumbo, and he's done some reliable damage, but he's just not going to be able to finish him off once this Jumbo starts moving. These are long distance tricky shots, but they seem to keep hitting the gun mantlet, and the Jumbo does get away intact. Now pay attention to this poodle, or more specifically the VK3601H with the 105mm derp gun. Yes, that didn't really help, did it? And keeping him stuck there while the enemy team shoot at him isn't doing him any favours either. But that's pretty much exactly the kind of behaviour you can expect from a player who's too cheap or stupid to equip his tank with a fire extinguisher or a repair kit, because that fire has knocked his engine out and now he's just sitting there getting shot at. Remember, just 2 short minutes ago this team was actually winning 6 kills to 1, and now they're losing 8 kills to 11. Although Circonflexes is going to make that 9 to 11, and the VK is still sitting in the same spot where he was disabled, sideways on, doing his level best to make it 9 kills to 12. He's finally got the engine repaired and is actually using it. He must have a 50% crew, as well as no fire extinguisher and no repair kit, and well, there we go, mission accomplished. 9 kills to 12. His parents must be so proud. Right, 3 tanks left alive, 6 enemies. On the plus side, the 3 tanks that are remaining are pretty tough. Circon's AT-15A does have decent armour. There's a KV-3 down there, but he's stock turret, 85mm gun. And the surviving Mark 7 Churchill also has pretty good armour at the front, even if he doesn't have a huge amount of health. But he's just about to get ambushed as the KV-3 kills the Achilles by an AMX-12T who is camping in the bushes on the far side of the cap circle waiting for the opportunity. He makes the move, but the KV-3 takes him out. I really do have to give a lot of credit to that KV-3 player down there, because he is in a stock tank and he is very definitely the co-star of this particular battle. 3001p, side shots, first one, nothing, second shot, again trying to immobilise him, first one on target, second one, 2 hits were required to blow the tracks off this thing, and he keeps pumping shots into the same spot over and over again, which has been damaged, but he just cannot seem to repeat the immobilisation on this VK, and it's the KV-3 who gets the kill, and ooh, plot twist, surprise butt sex from an LTG. Now, once again, some sterling support and assistance coming from the KV-3 over there, and Circon realises that he's never going to outmaneuver this light tank, so what he has to do instead is get out of the way and let the KV-3 help him. Of course the LTG knows he has to be able to get around behind Circon and use him as a shield against the 85mm gunfire coming from the KV-3, but Circon is just not letting him do it, and so the LTG very wisely, if a little late, realises that he has to get out of here. But well, you went the wrong way, sunshine. You should have ducked behind the houses over there. Even then there was no guarantee, with both of them shooting at him, that he would have made it. The AT-15A has a very good rate of fire on this 17-pounder gun, and a stock KV-3 with an 85mm gun has a fairly decent rate of fire as well. Right, the scores are dead even. It's 2 versus 2. KV-3 still has most of his health intact. AT-15A still has most of his health intact, against a full health T-150 and a Tiger. KV-3 exchanging fire with the T-150 as Circon drags himself up the hill here. The stock KV-3 can hold its own against a fully upgraded T-150. It's got a lot more health, and that is probably a fully upgraded T-150. He's got the upgraded turret, and he is using the 107mm gun with 300 alpha damage. But the question you have to be asking yourself is, why did the T-150 rush? Why didn't he wait for the Tiger? Where is the Tiger? Ah, he did wait for the Tiger, and now it's decision time. You see, the problem here is that if Circon directly supports the KV-3 against the Tiger, he's going to be giving the side of his machine to that T-150, so he must kill this T-150 before helping the KV-3 out with that German Tier 7 Heavy. And as luck would have it, that T-150 must have had its tracks damaged earlier, because that's the first time he's put a shot into the tracks of an enemy tank this game, and managed to immobilise it with his first shot fired. But now he must help the KV-3 against the Tiger. And you can see where he's aiming. Right below the turret there on the side, that's the Tiger's ammo rack. And he's praying for an ammo rack explosion here. He's not going to get one, spoiler. But I'm pretty sure he has damaged the ammo rack of the Tiger, because the Tiger has a much faster rate of fire than that. Unfortunately, the KV-3 has died, but he did a very, very good job holding that guy off. Circon has enough health that he can afford to take 2 hits from the Tiger's 88mm gun, and the Tiger can't afford to take 1 from Circon's 17-pounder. Boom! Headshot. Game over. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that this was a well-played game in the AT-15A. You wouldn't expect anything less of Circonflexes, but I'm not sure you realise just how well-played a game in the AT-15A this was. Here's the post-battle results screen. Ace Tanker, obviously, Confederate, High Caliber, and Top Gun. Circonflexes did 6,039 damage and earned 1,992 base experience before modifiers in the AT-15A. And you may be sitting there thinking, well, okay, that is good, and it is good, but it's not spectacular, is it? I mean, I've seen games in Tier 7 machines where far more damage and experience than that has been earned. And I'm sure you probably have, but I'll bet you haven't seen it done in an AT-15A. That's kind of the point. This is actually the highest scoring AT-15A game for both damage and base experience earned that's been uploaded to worldoftanksreplays.com in the current patch of World of Tanks. The next highest recorded amount of damage done in this machine is 4,800, 20% less. And the next highest amount of experience recorded earned in this machine is 1,852. So Circon is at the top of the roost in both categories as of the current patch of World of Tanks. But is it the best recorded AT-15A game of all time? No, it isn't. But it very nearly could have been. Do you remember when this was happening, when Circon was trying to capitalise on spotting and assistance damage by blowing the tracks off this KV-3? If he'd given up firing into the tracks just 1 shot sooner, and instead put 2 shots into the side of that KV-3's turret, this would have been the most recorded damage dealt in an AT-15A of all time. But he didn't, and so that honour goes to this guy, Abrams M1A2 Defender, who lost a game way back in patch 9.14 on the 22nd of May 2016. And he managed to lose this game with 6,141 damage done in the AT-15A. That's just 102 damage more than Circonflexes managed in his game. That's less than the average damage of one 17-pounder shell. That's how close it was. Circon, you had one job. One job, Circon. All you had to do was shoot the KV-3 twice, but you had to get clever. And it cost you the top spot still. A well-played game, regardless. I'm sure you'll all agree. Thank you, Circon, for sending that one in. They're always a pleasure to watch. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And as always, take care. And I'll catch you next time.